Case number 3. Let's see if we can get to the top of the page. Is a negative multiplied by a positive. A negative multiplied by a positive. I'm going to keep it kind of small today so that we can show these. So if we have -2, let's say, and when these brackets are mushed together like this, and there's no symbol in between them, hidden in here means multiply. Mushed means multiply. So over here, that's our triple M. Mushed means multiply. And we're going to continue to use the idea of grouping to decipher this in English to help us set up our model. And the way I want you to approach these negative ones, integer multiplication sentences that start with negative integers can be a little bit tricky, but I want you to think of the subtraction sign as take away or remove. Take away or remove. And I'm going to use the word remove right now. Remove 2 groups of, and we do need to see take away or remove 2 groups of positive 6. But whenever we start with this one, we have to remove them from the value that was over here. And before we started writing, there was nothing there. From 0. And this is the trickiest part. I hope you're still paying attention and taking down some notes. You should pause the video right now and stop for a second and think. Before I started writing this down, I didn't have anything there. There was 0. And we're going to take away 2 groups of positive 6 from the 0 that we started with. The only thing is we're going to make 0 look like a bunch of 0 pairs. And this is where the tricky part comes in. So what we need to do is we need to use 0 pairs. In this situation, we need 0 pairs. And the question then is, how many 0 pairs do you need? If we're going to tackle this one, how many 0 pairs do you need? Well, the answer is in your second integer. We need 6 groups of 0 pairs. We need to have that many. So let me show you what we're going to do here. We're going to start off with our model. So that's all our thinking to get us started. And once we've seen that, we can begin. So I'm going to leave lots of space here so it's a little bit easier to see. So right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's positive 6. So that's one group of positive 6. But I want to use that group to start off with 0. So if you can't see, these are positives, these are negatives. I'm going to zoom in just a tad here, make that a little bit more visible. Okay, good. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 0 pairs, and this entire number is 0. I'm going to do the same thing because in the end, I need to be able to remove 2 groups of positive 6 from this model, from this picture. 2 groups of positive 6 from this picture. Okay, so now this is my first picture. The other thing that makes the negative integer case a little bit trickier is you need to draw more than one series of steps in your model. So now this number here is 0. And now it's set up so that I can remove 2 groups of positive 6 from it. Now there's different ways to show this. Some people will put in an entirely different picture here. I'm going to do that for this one and then not do it for the other one. So that is my 0 that I'm starting off with. Can you imagine having to draw a model for something like -8 multiplied by +14. My personal feeling is models should always help you understand what's going on. They should help you to be able to do the work. And if they don't help you to do the work, then the model's not very good. In our province, we've set up standards. And one of our standards is we want you to be able to visualize. We want you to be able to use mental math. We want you to be able to use concrete materials and pictorial materials. And that's part of the reason why we have to do that. Because I can hear you right now. I can hear you all saying, Mr. Newman, why do I have to do this? Why do I got to draw a picture? I know the answer is -12. And I know that you know the answer is -12. And I know that you know that I know that you know that the answer is -12. And the reason for it is because we want you to be able to think in pictures. And by we, I mean the Manitoba Department of Education. You have to do models similar to this in grade 9 with algebra. So it's not going to go away. You do need to figure this out. Now what we've got here is we've got a situation where I can actually remove two groups of +6 from 0. How are we going to show removal? Well, I'm going to take an arrow, or a highlighter would be even better. My highlighters tend to smudge this pen, so I'm not using them. If I was going to take away 1, 2 groups and there was +6 in each one of those groups, then what would I be left with? Well, what I'd be left with would be all of these negatives. And I'd be left with 1, 2, only the negatives. And that is a picture of the answer. So the answer for this one is -12. Okay, now remember, I told you at the beginning of this, you may need to watch the video 2 or 3 times to be able to get this down pat. The next lesson we do on modeling is going to be a review lesson. I'm going to put up a series of pictures up on my board. You are going to identify what the multiplication sentence is, and hopefully you can figure these out. It's going to be a short, easy assignment, and I hope you really get to do it. Okay, well, we've done a positive multiplied by a positive. We've done a positive multiplied by a negative. This one here shows a negative multiplied by a positive, and the only one we need to do is a negative multiplied by another negative. So we need to follow up with this. Now, because it starts with a negative integer, we are going to have to use some 0 pairs for this one. Okay, so we're going to start off with our example, -4. And I'm going to use mushed notation. So again, 2 values mushed together like this. Mushed means multiply. Mushed means multiply. It's the triple M. Mushed means multiply. And we're going to decide, we're going to interpret this multiplication sentence in English. And we're going to take away or remove, take away. So that subtraction symbol, we're going to think of that as take away. 4. Multiplication involves groups, and we need to show those -2 groups disappearing. But before I started writing, what was there? Nothing. So we're going to take away from 0. So we need to, again, use 0 pairs. Need to use 0 pairs. Okay, so again, the question is, how many 0 pairs are we going to throw in there? Well, you need to have a picture that shows 4 groups of -2 disappearing. So we know that we're going to have 4 pairs of 2 0 pairs, 4 sets of 2 0 pairs. So let's start off with our model. This one I'm going to do a little bit differently. So there's -2, and there's 0. We're still at 0. negative and a positive. Each time I draw those together, it creates 0. So right now, this entire number here is 0. And that's what I'm going to remove 4 groups of -2 from. Now this one's a little bit more narrow, so I think I can put in all my pictures going this way. To me, it doesn't matter which way you do it. Now we're going to show the removal step. Try to do your circles nice and neat. You know who's going to be good at this? Abigail. Abigail is super neat. You know who else is also just as neat? Fiona, super neat. You're going to do this great. Cade, you're going to have to work a little bit harder. I recommend you get some graph paper, line those up nice and neat. Renz, I hope you're actually watching this. If you're watching this, I'm going to give you a shout out for your hair. You got really good hair. And now our picture is set up. Allie, good job keeping up with the work. Ashlyn, I got some of your assignments. Excellent job with that. Nate, you're rocking it. Brady, I haven't heard you for a while. This would be a good assignment for you to do. I want you to try to get a little bit more done. Okay, you're doing pretty good, but you could do a little bit more. Juliana, keep on rocking it. You're doing great. Ariella, I'm not sure if you're out there, but if you are, keep on giving this a try. Okay, keep on working hard. Andrea Oro, you're rocking it. You'll also do great with this because you're super neat. So, just keep on doing the best you can. Chrissy, I got 1 or 2 of those assignments from you. I'm hoping to be able to get a little bit more. And Phoenix, same with you. I'm hoping to get a little bit more from you. That would be good. Anyways, I kind of miss you guys. I got to say, I wouldn't want to admit it to everybody, but don't tell everybody. But you know what? I kind of miss you. I miss you guys. Anyways, let's do the removal. So there's one group of -2. There's 2 groups of -2, 3 groups of -2. If I actually had these integer tiles in front of me, I would actually do this. I would set them up for you and remove them, but they are not in my house. They're in my classroom. I don't have access to those. And what would we be left with? Well, we knew we wanted to somehow, in the end, have a picture that follows up and falls into line with the rules for integers that we learned about. And we learned that a negative multiplied by a negative gives us a positive because the signs are the same. That's just a rule. And here's how we have a picture of it. Okay, so thank you for paying attention. I know this was a little bit of a longer one. So what do you need to do? There are more iExcel practice instructions. Go on to Google Classroom, take a look at the iExcel practice instructions. I'm counting those for marks. All right, it'll save some of you. I know a few of you are having a tough time printing, you're having a tough time getting your answers down on paper. This is a good opportunity for you to collect some of those marks, show me what you're doing, and don't forget, iExcel keeps track of what you get right and what you get wrong, and it helps me to understand how to plan things. So I'd really like you to take advantage of iExcel as much as you can, and don't let your older brother or sister do the work for you. All right? Come on, seriously. They're in grade 11, grade 12. They know how to do this already. Come on, all right? I know, I'm watching you. I might not be able to see you, but I can tell, all right? Don't get your older cousin to do the work for you, all right? That's cheating. Anyways, iExcel practice, and then do the assignment that is coming tomorrow. All right, so I want you to probably take 2 days to go over this. Go over it for a couple of times. I hope you took some notes. And tomorrow we're going to do another practice lesson. The assignment is going to be a little bit shorter. It's totally based on the lesson. You won't be able to do it without watching the video because all the questions are going to be on the video that I do. Okay, so good luck. Have a good day. I'm going to have a good day enjoying my coffee. And We'll see you again.